Good morning, everybody. Tis absolutely a day or two before Christmas, and to have cold weather. Oh my God, I have never seen so much freezing cold. But here we are. And today I have a guest who is nice enough to have a Christmas background for us. I don't have one. Sean Johan or Gohan of Steuben's great guy, GM. Tell me to pronounce it right again.
The last name's Gojan.
Gojan. Okay,
Yes.
why I can't get that. Good
That's
morning. How are you?
Good morning, Gabby. I'm well, thank you. And how are you?
Fine. And you have Santa Claus. Is he ready to deliver?
Yes. He's got his presents ready for our nieces for the family. Yes,
Good
yes.
for you. Okay, you are the GM. You run probably one of the most popular restaurants in the city, Steuben's Diner, Uptown. It amazes me. I don't care what the weather, what's going on. Whoop, it's mobbed. But start by telling me, because I really don't know about you.
Absolutely. So I just want to make sure because I don't want to take away from Miss Renee Stern. She's our GM actually. I'm one of the front of house managers with Renee though, because we've got about a team of four, plus we have Joey Casanova and Emily Biederman, who you know as
Yes.
well. But I just joined the Steuben's management team, and it's my first opportunity that I've taken to actually be able to do that because I've been with Steuben's for about 16 years, if you include my wife, because she's been there all 16 years. So I've been there about 11 total now. I helped open it in 2006, and yeah, Steuben's has never really looked back though, Gabby. You're right; it's always had a we've been fortunate to have a great fan following, and the community is stood behind us, yourself included. So,
Well, so actually, your career as your age is Steuben's.
yes, I mean, in reality, a third of my life has been
Right.
students. Yeah, it's a
Well,
big part of my everyday life. Yes,
well, you're working with wonderful people and Josh Walken, who is incredible in my life as well. Okay,
yes.
so you are one of the GMs?
I'm one of the managers, one of the front of house managers that work alongside with Renee, Joey, Emily. I got another Emily as well. So we've got a great little management team that we work together with
A
Sammy.
day in your life has got to be pretty hectic. Okay, let's describe students first, in case somebody.
So for someone that's never been to Steubens or hasn't heard of Steubens, I think the easiest way for them to kind of grasp it's American regional comfort food. So I always like to kind of tell people think about like what mom would make or grandma or grandpa on Sunday, whether it's their meatloaf, it's a fried chicken dinner, maybe we're doing summertime in Boston, we're doing lobster or some sort of crab. So Stevens has got a little bit of everything for everyone. Anything from salads to the main hearty dishes like pot roast, from lobster rolls to macaroni and cheese, and pretty much
Yes.
anything in between as well. So
Anything breakfasty, sandwichy, salady, entree, whatever. Uh,
yeah,
I see milkshakes all day or whatever go out. Everything anybody would ever want. And I
yes,
think it's sort of designed. I would hardly call the ambiance fancy. It's a diner. It's
correct.
fabulous.
Yes. Yeah, and that's kind of what we when originally in 2006 when we were talking about ways to explain the ambiance or the surroundings. It's very diner esque, right? That's how we wanted people to feel was that old school.
Upscale diner.
Yes, exactly, Gabby. Yep. So that was the whole purpose was we want you to come in, feel like you're at a diner, maybe getting a little bit more than a diner per se, but it's the whole purpose is to feel comfortable with comfort food.
Right. Lots of seating, actually, even outdoors.
Yes.
Not today. Even
No,
with
not today.
winters, I don't think they're going outside today. And your prices and your food reflect affordable. It's
Yes.
fun. The bar is fun.
yes, those were the other things we've been talking about too, especially after this pandemic. Is you still want to be competitive, right? So we're trying to have really good fair prices for the portions that you get. That's
Oh,
both from the kitchen and the bar standpoint, right? And as you know, yes. So we
I look at the portions and I laugh.
yeah, I did. You're not alone, Gabby. We've all, even myself, who's been affiliated at 16 years, I sometimes see a plate and I'm like, that's a lot of food. So yes, you are
The
not wrong.
only thing that appalls me is when I sit there and watch somebody finish a plate of that fried chicken or something with mashed potatoes and a side of mac and cheese. And I just look at these, I see table after table. That's a typical order, which is beyond. I mean, I'm the tuna melt, BLT, even burger, that kind of a girl. And it's plenty. But when I see your entree sizes,
Yeah, that's one of our wow factors. That fried chicken's always been one of our wow factors, if you will. Anytime we take it out to a table that hasn't had it before, um, they usually they do. They have those eyes, Gabby, like you said, and it almost takes them aback because it is so much food sometimes. But again, we want to make sure that we're giving value and size to the price, and we have fair prices, but we still want to make sure that the guest is feeling um, respected and taken care of on that front because it's important to be
right?
competitive and fair
Well,
priced.
like your appetizers, the deviled eggs. I
Yes.
mean, you don't get two deviled eggs.
No. No.
They're,
You get three eggs cut into halves, so there's six pieces for our deviled eggs. Yes.
yes, my grandson, I've got to have the deviled eggs. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Missed them all before we went on to the next course.
Yeah.
But all your appetite, everything. Tell us about some of the other things. I mean, I can go on with you, but some of the
Abs-
people's favorites.
Absolutely, Gabby. So I mean, appetizer wise, some of our absolute most popular. You said it first. Those deviled eggs. That has been, and I can't even tell you how many eggs I've personally eat, how many I've sent out over the years, how many. It's such a simple thing, but it's been such a huge hit for us. Is our deviled
Every,
eggs,
oh, yeah.
our gravy cheese fries are another big one. It's kind of like our take on East Coast like disco fries, or in Canada what they call poutine.
Poutine. Yeah.
It's kind of our spin on that with our house cut fries, the brown gravy, and then we use just some melted mozzarella cheese on top, and we just put that in the salamander to let it get a little bubbly and brown and golden and delicious. And then our Brussels sprouts, and that's something that we do as an appetizer, as a side. Some people get like sprouts in a salad as a meal. Those Brussels sprouts are very popular. I think we're in a Brussels sprout uh, decade, if you will. I feel like it's been a huge thing. I feel like everyone's really enjoyed their Brussels sprouts. Um, and then from there, we go into salads, our bacon and blue, which used to be our iceberg wedge, but we actually just redid it a little bit and we made it a little bit more approachable. You can actually add a little bit of protein on it, and it's a little bit easier to eat than, like, let's say, a quarter head of iceberg lettuce. So it's now chopped romaine. It's that famous blue cheese that we know of. It's really good. We have a great Greek salad. We also do this beautiful lox plate now. That's one of our newer dishes that we
the
wanted.
other day.
Yeah, and that's a fun one. That was something that we wanted to have something that was entree like, but maybe not as heavy as that fried chicken, right? Or as that pot roast, and you could still have a little bit of everything.
Well, that's on my list because I
Yeah,
saw somebody eating it and I thought, oh my, that really looks delicious.
and it's actually been a great addition to our menu. We have had a lot of really good feedback. Like I was just kind of saying, it's allowed individuals to maybe order something a little less heavy than what our typical dishes are like. Yes,
I agree.
and yeah, it's been good.
And then on the sandwich side, you've got everything from vegan to grilled cheese. Your grilled cheese and tomato soup is great. I'm a fan of the tuna melt. That thank God you took it away for some time. And I said, oh, you can't. It's, I
Yes,
mean, it's huge too.
that tuna melt. I and I remember the old tuna melt that we have. But that tuna melt, that new one, is a big sandwich. Yes, you're right. It is, and it's definitely one of those you can either cut in half and save for later, or you can easily
Yes,
share with
ma'am.
someone else.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's delicious and
Yes.
so good. And entrees, you have, well, my group adores the meatloaf.
Mm. And
So,
and I would have to agree with them. That meatloaf has been. I grew up with meatloaf. That's just what we ate a lot as kids. And that's the truth. My mom made a lot of meatloaf.
well, my
And
son's
then
mother never did, and he's making up for it now.
you right, and that meatloaf. I think kind of exemplifies what we were going for with that menu, right? Is that real hominess. And we never want it to be necessarily better than whoever's it reminds you of, right? Family or friends. But that meatloaf has not changed once over the 16 years. We've kept that pretty standard, and it's been a really great recipe for us.
But I think we ought to point out when we say these things, you're just not throwing out some cheap whatever it is we've ordered. You use great ingredients. You have a team that's checking everything and caring. And I mean, it doesn't taste like what my memory of meatloaf was, way.
Right.
This is delicious.
It's delicious, Gabby. You were right, and it's got that unique glaze that we have on there and everything. Yes, our kitchen staff from Chef Sarah and her team, they do a great job, and that is something we take a lot of pride in too, because we are a scratch kitchen, and for
Well, that's
being
right.
the diner esque that we are type restaurant, that's a lot to do sometimes, especially because of the high volume. But we take great pride in using those great ingredients, like you said, and really the team in that back of house work really hard to put out really good food.
I
Yes.
have no idea how many meals you do a day, but oh my gosh, because it's mobbed constantly.
Oh my gosh, yes.
How many do you seat?
I think total capacity with the patio is somewhere around
Yeah,
130 ish.
yeah.
Yeah. So I believe so. It's pretty good size. Yes.
Okay, well, talking about food, the one thing we haven't talked about is in the middle of this diner esque, there's a lobster roll.
Yes, there is.
And I think, frankly, I keep tasting them every place. And I'm still where I am now, yours is by far the best. And I
Well,
mean
thank
that
you.
not because I'm interviewing you, but it is fabulous.
And I think the lobster roll is arguably our most unique item on the menu. And it's not
Okay.
because lobster rolls are necessarily unique per se. I think it's the sheer fact of how much fresh lobster we go through in a week, right? Of how much live lobster Steubens is capable of going through for that one sandwich. It's that lobster roll sandwich. And but the biggest thing was, as you know, Josh Wilpon being an East Coast kid, primarily from the Boston area, those are very much part of your childhood and growing up and everything by the water. So Josh always knew he was going to have a lobster roll on his menu, and here it is, still 16 years later.
But he was explaining to me how much lobster you have with lobster.
Oh, like in the actual sandwich itself, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's about 3.5 ounces of lobster meat, including the tail, the knuckle, the claw. You mix a little bit of all that together, and then it comes in two styles. You can do your Connecticut style, which is going to be the warm butter tossed with the lobster. And then we also do our main style, which is the cold version, tossed with the mayonnaise. And that's my personal
My
choice as well. If I were going to sit down and eat it, both delicious, but I do like that main style. That's always been um, our hit. The Connecticut's a little bit newer than the main. The main's been on
yeah,
our menu the
I'll
entire
stay on.
time too. So, but
And you make
we've been
great
super
chips,
fortunate.
and you make great chips and great fries as well. And did I see a crab roll on there, or am I mistaken?
No, you are right, Gabby. You did see a crab roll,
I
and
have
that
never
is
tried that. Tell me about that.
and it's great. So what we do, this is blue lump crab that we use, but it's not necessarily the same as the lobster roll. Some people might think they're getting like this big chunks of like crab meat. It's more of a crab style salad
Oh, really?
sandwich.
Okay, tell
It's
me.
delicious. It's really simple. It's our crab meat tossed with a little bit of mayonnaise, some lemon juice. We serve that in the same bread that we do with the lobster. Those are called the fry hopper split top buns, and we just lightly grill that, buttered and everything, and then you just take that lightly dressed crab meat and you put it right in that same roll, just like the
Well,
lobster.
that might be my next order. I have never,
It's
I cannot say that I have not had that. Wow.
it's delicious, and I had never had it either until I had just gotten back in January, and it's fantastic.
Ah, well, I
Fantastic.
got to catch up with you. It's almost January. And of
Sure.
course, you have desserts.
Yes, Chef Michael. Yes, he. We are very fortunate enough to have our own in-house pastry chef. Yes, we have. We're affiliated with Ace, as you
Which
know.
is,
Not everyone does,
yes.
but inside of Ace, we actually built ourselves what we call the Pastry Palace. It's Chef Chef Michael's little area that he can use to put out all of our desserts, from our classic coconut cake and our truck stop chocolate cake, which have been staples since we opened in 2006, to our newer turtle pecan tart.
Good.
We do rotating ice cream flavors. We have rotating sorbets. He really does a great job with him and his team, Chef Michael. And to have a pastry chef is pretty special, especially with the newer kitchen that they have as well.
Good for them. And everything is delicious. I'm savory, but the sweets are when I smelled the apple pie the other night on
Mm.
my way out, and I almost went back in to get another order.
And that, Gabby, is a new one for us. That's Chef Michael put that on the menu not too long ago, and it's that crisp in that cast iron. It's it's hard to explain, but if you can smell, just think about like those fall,
You
winter spices and smells.
you should leave one just cooked at all times because it literally smelled. I didn't know it was there until I was walking out, and all of a sudden,
Yeah,
oh, smell that.
yeah.
So that's how you sell houses.
Oh, oh yes, yes. It's always nice to have a little almost display around so people can see it and smell it. Yes.
And you also have great drinks, cocktails, and all that. But it's a perfect spot. You're almost never closed. Tell me the hours of student.
So you're right. Steuben's is only closed a few times out of the year. For usually it's either a holiday or a staff appreciation. But our hours Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. On Thursdays, and then on Fridays we actually close at 11 p.m. For the weekends we do brunch. That starts at 9 o'clock both Saturday and
Which is
Sunday.
wildly popular.
Our brunch is wildly popular, and it hasn't looked back. And you
It's
think it's eggs and bacon and toast, right? Sometimes if you break it down to a simplicity, we do a really great job, and we have a lot of people and a lot of guests that come back, and we're very grateful because
to me, breakfast is eggs, bacon, toast. Yes.
yeah, and that's not me trying to play it down. I just try to keep right because breakfast is usually fairly simple, but
Right.
we do great business, and we have this like I said, this neighborhood and community that have really put out a good word for us. And so we've got our regulars,
Beautiful.
we've got our new people as well.
Okay. Now, tell me about Christmas and New Year's. What are you doing hours?
Yes. So we're open today. We're open tomorrow, being Christmas Eve. Josh recognizes that a lot of the teams celebrate the holidays, so he actually
Absolutely.
closed on Christmas Day. So we're closed on the 25th, but we're back open on the 26th.
Good.
In terms of specials this year, we're not doing anything on the Christmas end at Steuben's or at Ace, but we are doing some fun things for the New Year side, right? As we kind of wrap up that week of Christmas and into the 2023, both restaurants are doing some fun specials. At Steuben's, we're not going to do any different hours, but we're going to do some really great dinner specials. We're going to do some oysters Rockefeller, that
Mhm.
traditional, yeah, little lemons, breadcrumb. Yeah, it's going to be outstanding. We're going to do a steak Oscar. I think we're going to do that with like possibly like a little hollandaise and everything, a little crab. It could change, but that's just kind of what
Good
we've
for
been
you.
briefly talking
Plus,
about.
plus the regular menu.
Plus our regular menu, yes, of course. And we're going to absolutely, that regular menu will be available for everyone. And
And
then we'll
then
have a few choices, both food and drink as well as students. And it'll
Okay.
be Steuben's is going to be a great choice for the earlier crowd on New Year's Eve, if you will.
Well, I'm
The
gonna
families, people trying to eat before they go out, and then
no go
if
to
you're
bed.
looking for that late night, Ace is
Okay.
a
And
great
what about
place.
New Year's Day?
New Year's Day, we will be open. That's Monday, the 26th, or excuse me, Monday, the January 1st. We're gonna be open on 9 a.m. We're gonna do brunch that day. Um, you know what, Gabby? Don't quote me on that. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We're open. I just want to double check with my team, and we'll get the little post out about our brunch hours for that day. But it's either going to be 9 or 10 that we're opening. And I
And
apologize. I
what
don't know.
about dinner?
And then dinner will start right around 2 o'clock, I believe,
Okay.
right around
So
that normal time.
somehow or other, doesn't matter hours. You are
Yes,
open New Year's Day for
correct.
brunch, which is a Sunday, brunch and dinner.
Yes, yes, correct. We are. We'll be both open for brunch and dinner on New Year's Day. Correct.
Good. Well, that's
Yes,
nice to know.
yes.
I know somebody who will be there. Me.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Oh, good.
I know.
I'll be the early dinner. You'll be the brunch.
Well, I'll be there too, Gabby. Yes.
And do give Ace a plug, which is wonderful. They're doing New Year's Eve.
Yep. Ace is doing New Year's Eve as well. Ace is doing a wonderful, like, they're going to kind of take over the late night
Okay.
extravaganza, if you will, for us. There's going to be some great specials. They're also doing some oysters over there from the Northwest coast and everything. They're doing a beautiful miso butter soup. They're going to have some crispy striped bass that night. They have
Ooh,
some delicious drink specials. They got some non-alcoholic stuff too for those that may be driving and the designated driver.
okay.
Uh, it's going to be a good time, and that I believe Ace
That's
is yep. So that'll be Saturday. That's the 31st, and they're looking forward to having a great late night get together.
good. And people who don't know, Ace Eat Serve is next door to Steuben's. It's a little more, well, it's not high end, but it's a little fancier. Con, the chef, is wonderful. It's
Yes,
more Asian, and Peking duck is to die for. So reserve one. But back to Steuben's because that's
yes,
where we are.
yes.
Steuben's Diner. Give the address, the phone number. I do suggest reservations because you are mobbed.
I agree, Gabby. I think especially after this pandemic, reservations have become very popular because it almost ensures that you'll have a spot to dine. Uh, with that being said, Steuben's is still busy, even kind of on the other side of this pandemic a little bit, and reservations are always a great option.
Okay.
And of course, walk-ins as well. But I agree. I suggest
Well,
reservations.
right. Because you
And
address,
yep,
phone.
and you can find Steuben's at 523 East 17th Avenue, right here in Denver, Colorado, in Uptown. You can call us at 303 830 1001. And yeah, we're around.
Web page.
Webpage, Steubens.com. It's very simple. It's www.steubens.com.
S
And
T E U B E N, by the way. Yep.
bens.com. Yes, Steubens.com. Yes, and it'll have the whole menu. It'll have the history of Steubens. Give Josh like a little shout out about kind of his great uncles Max and Joe. That's where the whole Steubens concept was created. Right, it was from his great uncles who owned the original. And it'll have
Gospel.
some press.
Incredible. And Jim. Just so you know.
Yes,
Yes, a partner who's pretty wonderful too. But everybody who's watching this, please like and subscribe to the Gabb, THEGABB, on YouTube, and you'll see this and other interviews. You'll also see this on Facebook and on Instagram, and you'll see me at Stu. Well, I was at Ace the other night too. So I do change, but mostly you'll find me at Steuben's because it's just perfect for everything. And to you and everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. And there will be something before New Year's, but have a wonderful holiday. And you too.
Gabby, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and to your family as well. We look forward to continue seeing you.
Oh,
You've
you
always
will?
been great to us, so
No,
we
never
cannot
get
thank you
rid
enough,
of me.
Gabby.
Thank you. Much love.
Much love,
Love to
Gabby.
all.
Happy New Year's. Thank you, Gabby. Happy holidays.
You too. See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.